All America, all the time. Sit down, buckle up, and get ready for The Dan Bongino Show.
Folks, I can't believe it. I'm having a hard time with the intakes here. I can't believe it's happening again. I'm actually stunned at this point. And not a lot shocks me in this business, really. I mean, not a lot. Over a decade in this business, I'm consistently disappointed despite my low expectations in others. I'm not talking about the audience. I'm talking about people in the space or in the talking head space. I cannot believe it's happening again. I cannot believe people are still falling for the secret knowledge. I have secret knowledge. Oh, okay. Well, is there a reason you're not showing it? And then the information overload, evidence underload trick, where you just tell people a bunch of random stuff. It never actually works out to be evidence of what you said it is, and everybody forgets you said the random stuff. It's happening again. I'm genuinely sorry for you if you've fallen for this. I really am. And the reason I say that is you're going to have a business deal put in front of you, and due to your lack of logic and reason, I'm not being a dick about it either. I mean this. You are going to get worked over by the counterparty. You just are. Because you'll fall for anything. It's amazing. Like in your personal life, you would require evidence that the deal you're about to make to invest in whatever it may be, a tech company, a mine, that the mine had actual gold, correct? You wouldn't just say, hey man, the guy selling me the mine says it has gold, but he says it's a secret. After you sign, he'll tell you. And then he still never tells you. It is unbelievable. I'll show you what I mean coming up. I got that. On a very serious note, I'm going to start today's show with this. Folks, I'd like to say something is going to happen, but something else is going to happen. Something has already happened. Scalise, Charlie Kirk, Kavanaugh, where the guy showed up at the house. Something has already happened. Something else is going to happen, whether it's to me or anyone else. I'm not being melodramatic about it. I don't want anyone to worry about, I'll be A-okay. My life has been great. It's not some pity party for good old Dan. Dan's life is wonderful. Spend your energy on someone else. Don't worry about me. The only reason I'm even covering this at the beginning of the show is because when something else happens, I want to be sure you can look back on these episodes and go, Dan was right. He brought the evidence and the logic, and maybe we should have listened. I'll show you what I mean coming up. We got a lot of content today. We had a great guest. We're going to move him till next week because we just had so much going on. Did Fox and Friends this morning. Hat tip to my team for juggling 12 dozen chainsaws while people were throwing eggs and pies at them too the whole time. It was amazing. Good job, fellas. Don't miss the Father's Day sale at All Family Pharmacy. Get 25% off site-wide. Get prepared today through June 22nd at allfamilypharmacy.com/Bongino with code Bongino25. Prescription provided if appropriate. Today's show also brought to you by our good friends at Brick House. Ladies and gentlemen, Brick House Nutrition is my go-to product. Many of you know my story. I went through a problem with this whole cancer thing. It sucked. I gave it 2 thumbs down on Yelp. I really didn't like it. It's a terrible experience. But I gained some weight afterwards after chemo, because after I was done, I started just eating like an animal. I was up to about 238 pounds or so. My joints were getting their butts kicked. I really didn't feel good. A little gooey. I called up Miles over at Brick House Nutrition. Said, Miles, I don't want to take any of these injections, these other things. You got a product. And I'm telling you, he was like, we got one. And it was lean. So I was one of the first users of lean. It's an amazing product. Paul and I use it. As you can tell, if you look at old photos from me from Rumble, I lost well over 30 pounds. I'm about 198, 202, depending on the day. Now, eating healthy is the start of staying healthy. They have other great health and wellness products as well, including Field of Greens, which is a staple of my diet. It's whole fruits and vegetables too. In addition to lean, they have Field of Greens. If you don't have time to go shopping and prepare all these fruits and vegetables and you got to clean them off and do all this other stuff, Field of Greens is your one-stop shop. We could all use more fruits and vegetables in our diet. Pretty much everyone in the nutrition space agrees on that. Just one drink and you get your healthy start to your day. Every fruit and vegetable in Field of Greens is doctor selected for specific health benefits. There's a heart health group, lungs, kidneys, metabolism groups, even healthy weight groups. I love Field of Greens. I love Lean. Brickhouse Nutrition's products are amazing. Field of Greens promises that your next checkup, your doctor will notice your improved health or your money back. I got the blood test to back it up. I've got a 20% discount on Field of Greens at Brickhouse Nutrition to get you started. Go to brickhousenutrition.com/Dan. Use my code Dan. That's brickhousenutrition.com/Dan. Code Dan. Pick up a bottle of Lean. Pick up a bottle of Field of Greens today. Get your health journey started. All right, fellas, let's go. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I just want this out there clear from the start. I'm going to say it again. This is not some pity party for me. My life is wonderful. Thank you, Jesus Christ, for every blessing. I would change nothing. I am good. I just want this all on the record because I'm sadly certain something else is going to happen. Fox News report yesterday. You've seen all the hysteria from the chatterbox talking head class with the I have secret knowledge. I have a lot of information, but no evidence crowd. Sadly, the victim of a lot of this is Erica Kirk and others as more threats materialize to her life. Now, I mean, I've never seen anything like this in my life. Her husband, Charlie, who we all knew, guys, you put that, yeah, thank you. Report links anti-Christian extremism and assassination culture to alleged plot against Erica Kirk. Yeah, another one. Friends. Notice I didn't say folks here. I said friends. I did that for a reason. Because there are some people here who are not our friends. You can watch like anyone else, but you're not our friends. Erica Kirk watched her husband assassinated, murdered in the coldest of blood on basically what we would consider live TV these days, the internet. Sane, sound, moral, ethical people would empathize and feel really horrible to have a young man like that, a real patriot and a hero, and an unbelievably good friend to me, to have his life cut short for some senseless ideological crap. Erica will never get over this, ever. You have to remember there are Thanksgivings and Christmas where there's always going to be an empty seat at that table. Woman's life or children's life have been just totally devastated. They'll never be the same. Yet there are some people out there who I've run out of adjectives to describe it. I really have. Satanic, demonic, evil. I'll never understand. Thankfully, I won't. Try to understand why serial killers are serial killers. You won't, because you're not a sociopath. No one goes, oh, I get it, because you'll never get why these demons do what they do. But I saw this piece, Erica yesterday was reading some mail into the show, and she broke down, and I just wanted you to see this. And if you watch something like this and you think that person should be assassinated or hurt or just we should attack her on her online videos and digital stuff, then I just say you should really hope that there is no second creation. Because there's nothing to answer for here that's going to change your mind. But if there is an afterlife and there is a second creation, I promise you're not in it. That I'm sure of. Check this out.
My husband is a hardworking farmer who has gone a lot. A year ago, I was questioning my marriage and felt like I was losing myself in the chaotic life of work and motherhood. Since finding a church, I recently got baptized. My kids attend Sunday school, and we talk about Jesus in our home daily. Instead of nagging my husband, I embrace his hard work.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You might have finished reading it, sweetheart. Let me finish reading it.
I love him like a wife should when he comes home. Instead of losing myself to motherhood, I've completely embraced every second of it. never wanting my precious babies to grow up. It seems like the more I pour myself into my daily readings, church, and family, the devil shows his face more than I have ever witnessed. Why does it seem like the closer you get to God, the harder the devil works on you?
Yeah. Look, for those of you that can't see, and I have the blessing and the benefit of knowing Erica and Charlie so well that I know exactly why Erica's in tears, you know?
Man.
Closer you get to God, the harder the devil works on you. Well, the devil's working overtime now. He's cashing in that OT check, probably spreading the wealth around too. Folks, something else is going to happen. And if this is the last show I do, or Erica or anyone else, I just want it on the record that I was on the right side of this. And by the right side, I don't elevate myself or my character above you or anyone else. I just mean like the non-demon side. Folks, this stuff is dangerous. If you don't have a compass true north and you will believe anything, then you will fall for anything. And as I said to you in the open, and I'll repeat again, there's a penalty in this for you and for everyone else. The penalty for you falling for anything in the secret knowledge and overwhelm info, underwhelm evidence trap, don't ever forget those two things. It is the mark of a charlatan every single time. Secret knowledge they never give you, ever. I've got this stuff, but I'm not going to show you. And then here's some information, but the information is never actually evidence. A bank was robbed in Martin County. Justin lives in Martin County. That information is accurate. Banks have been robbed in Martin County, and Justin lives here. Justin never robbed a bank. That's not evidence of anything. It's just information. That is the mark of a charlatan. Imagine being a criminal investigator and starting out with a portfolio of 50,000 Martin County residents because a bank was robbed. They could all be suspects. No, they can't all be suspects. Half of them weren't even in Martin County. They're snowbirds who were up north. What are you, an idiot? Do you know how the process of distilling down and eliminating superfluous information and getting down to facts that actually are evidence? Do you understand how that works? That's the mark of a dipshit, is doing it in reverse. Getting an answer and then polluting the answer with non-solutions. Why do I bring this up? Because, again, it's happening. I saw this morning. This is Mario Nafal's show on Twitter, where he seems to love to play. Now, I will say this. To Mario's credit, to be very fair, because I don't like doing so, he did reach out via direct message on Twitter and ask me to come on his show. I don't have the time. I'm sorry. So to be fair to him, he did ask me for this. And he did address in the DM, and I don't publish people's, unless you mention my stuff like that other one did. But he did mention that I addressed these matters down on the Tucker stuff with Butler and the text. I showed you the text. The texts say the exact opposite of what he said. Of course, his supporters just move the goalpost because, again, they just get polluted with information. But I'm just trying to save you from getting screwed over in a business deal or something else in real life where you don't know how to get to actual evidence that your investment or whatever it is going to work. This is how people pollute you. Hey, buy this mine. It's got a ton of gold. You're going to show me the gold? It's secret knowledge. There's silver in a mine down the block. I'm not asking you about the freaking silver in the mine down the block. I'm asking you about the gold in the mine I'm investing in. This is what happened yesterday. I'll break this down into two parts. Actually, Guy did. I had it for 2 minutes. Guy's like, you can't play 2 minutes. Let's cut it down to 1.5 minutes and 30 seconds. This was Joe Kent, who was a friend of mine at one point. This is really sad to see. The former NCTC, National Counterterrorism Center Director. I had worked with Joe Kent many times. I was over there. I'd offered Joe Kent multiple briefings on this stuff. Here he is again, going down the same road after we just thoroughly eviscerated Tucker Carlson's argument that somehow the president shut down the investigation into his own attempted murder, which on its face is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. We produced text saying the opposite. They literally say in the text, I'm not going to put them up again. You can watch the show from last week. They're all there. If you have anything that we haven't seen, send it over, because all the stuff we had already seen. It says that in the text. It says that. Totally, completely debunked. Here's Joe Kent again with their, man, we were just kept out of this stuff. I personally showed up at NCTC headquarters and told you I'd give you a full briefing and your people. Do not lie. Here he is. Check this out.
Tucker was talking about in that clip that he came across through an investigative journalist that was working for Tucker. He came across Thomas Crooks's online profile. That's significant because for quite some time, almost a year, we were told that Crooks was kind of an enigma. He didn't have much of an online persona. When I asked the FBI in my official capacity, when we came back into the administration, I said, hey, can we get our hands on Crooks's phones, computers, et cetera, because we want to see if there was any foreign linkage, because there was innuendo that the Iranians were behind Butler. There was another case, the Merchant case, and I wanted to see if there was any linkages between that, because Merchant indeed was hired by the Iranians. He's in jail now. That trial's already taken place. It's well documented. I wanted to see if there was any linkage between the two. I was told at the time initially that we couldn't get into Crooks's devices. I was petitioning to get the FBI to try and give up the devices to the rest of the intelligence community to try and get into them. And then the FBI came back and said, actually, we got into them and there's just nothing there. And I said, okay, well, if there's nothing there, you should still let us see what's inside them so that we can determine if there was any foreign nexus here. We didn't get access to them. And then Tucker came across the very prolific online profile, including Crooks communicating with, a Norwegian terrorist who was being monitored by the FBI. So there's a ton of questions there.
Okay. Everything he said there about what he was allowed into and what he was not allowed into is just completely fabricated bullshit.
It's a data point.
Of course it's a data point. We had already looked at that stuff. I was at NCTC headquarters with him in his conference room. What was it, on the second floor? Joe, tell me you don't remember this. There were multiple witnesses to this, where I told you we'll brief you on every single question you just brought up. The Norwegian, the devices, the alleged foreign connections. I told you we would do that. Nobody ever showed up. It's almost like he just started caring about this because there were media hits involved. There were witnesses to this. You were offered a briefing on this stuff. He's got some secret knowledge, again, a data point. He always said, well, there may have been a foreign connection. So tell us what it was. That stuff you mentioned, we had already investigated and offered to brief you. He's just making this up. To further this ridiculous narrative, I already eviscerated that the president, bizarrely, committed some federal crime and obstructed justice into his own murder. How does that make it make sense to me, people who believe this? The president of the United States shut an investigation out into his own attempted murder. What the? Are you serious? Here's the other part of this, where he just doubles down on this just absolute insanity. I'm really stunned sane people are falling for this. Check this out.
I was attempting to dig into some of the intelligence background and potential linkage between the two cases. The DHS, the Department of Homeland Security Inspector General, was looking into what was taking place on the ground in Butler from the Trump appointee perspective. So, this all happened under Biden. We came back in, we wanted answers. So Secret Service and then all the federal agencies, a lot of them fall under the purview of DHS. The DHS Inspector General started looking into a lot of the details of what took place on the ground. He himself was also blocked, and this has been documented. People can look this up. The DHS investigator was blocked into looking into what was going on the ground in Butler. So when I add up all those data points together, I have way more questions than answers. And I think there's a lot that still needs to be uncovered about Butler.
He has more questions than answers. There's a lot more to be, but he never tells you what it actually is. The DHS IG's office was blocked. They were in my office in the deputy director conference room in the management floor in J Edgar Hoover, the Hoover building. They actually showed up for a briefing and said no such thing. We briefed them on the whole thing, just like I briefed you. Don't tell people I didn't brief you. Don't make me put the pictures out there. You're just lying. These allegations are total nonsense. This was all investigated. Everything he's saying, the digital files, all of it. There were no devices we did not look at. We did not find a foreign connection in the phone. We have all the phones and the digital devices. Receipts incoming, by the way, because I know, by the way, I know none of this is going to get through to the people who are just going to suckers who are going to fall for anything. I just want this on the record in case something happens. Number 3, if you're not a law enforcement entity and you're asking for things, then you have no law enforcement role. You're introducing a problem if something were later on to be found, which it wasn't, because you would become a witness in court, yet they would ask, why did you give it to them? They have no law enforcement authority. Does he not understand that? Did he not know what his role was? Matter of fact, you have that Grok thing. Let's diversify the source of AI here. Ask Grok, again, in case you think I'm making this up. Does the National Counterterrorism Center director have any law enforcement role? Put that up on the screen in case you think I'm making this up. Receipts incoming. Does the NCTC, glad you guys spell quickly, have any law enforcement authority? Let's see what it says, in case you think Dan's crazy here, your buddy. Thinking about your... No, the NCTC does not have any law enforcement authority. They're an integration house for terrorism cases. They're not an investigative body. Does he not know that? He was the director. It's like me walking into the IRS going, hey, I'm the FBI deputy director. I want to get involved in financial audits. You're blocking me from the info? They're not blocking me. That's not my job. Folks, you can check this out yourself. This is not hard. Oh, gosh. Again, he was offered a briefing, and everything he's referring to about the FBI said there was no digital footprint was the prior FBI, the prior deputy, before we got there. And then we had to correct all this stuff and fix it. He's not talking about us, but he implies it's us, just like Tucker did. He's making this all up, guys. Here, you want more receipts? Here's us, idiot, because they keep saying, oh, the president was not satisfied with the investigation. Even Miranda Devine, who's apparently just, she put out this tweet. It's amazing. Like, she's not worried that these people like Tucker and others are putting out total lies that have been completely discredited. She's worried she didn't get the first interview. That's an amazing tweet to put out. Here is us in the Oval Office briefing the president about the case. This is called a receipt. What do you think we were there for? The president's a busy guy. You think we were there briefing him about what the tea and crumpets schedule was going to be for like a meeting with the UK? There I am right there. It's Pam, Todd, Cash. I had to crop the other guy out, but he was involved in the case. He's told us multiple times. He was completely satisfied. Yet Miranda, Tucker, Joe Kent, no, he told me otherwise. Then go ask, get it on the record. Go ask him. You just had him on your podcast. Why didn't you ask him? Oh, look at that, the Daily Caller. Isn't that Tucker's outlet, guys? Tucker founded the Daily Caller, right? Trump says he's very satisfied with the official narrative on Butler assassination. Melanie Wilcox, Daily Caller. So he told us, he told the Daily Caller he was completely satisfied. Yet they have hidden information they can never produce. Oh, I heard that. I heard it. Really? No one else heard that. It was just you. See, unlike you with secret knowledge, this is actual receipts. These are actual facts. Like, that's out there. You can look up the article yourself. Let's go back to the Fox piece where we sat down at length. I guess Miranda's upset because she didn't get... Really? So you're a journalist, right? You're not upset about the truth not being out there. You're upset that you didn't get the interview about it? You actually said that publicly? This is unbelievable what we're dealing with. Incredible. The president somehow is hiding information about his own attempted murder. And people are like, yeah, man, that makes total sense. It doesn't matter how many receipts you produce. I want the record to be clear on this. Here's the Fox piece, yet again, where we sat down for almost 2 hours and went through every single question. Ask Brooke Singman, who sat down at FBI headquarters. When she left, we said, do you have any other questions at all? And she said, no. That's how thorough the interview was. Here's the FBI piece. Here's a quote from the piece. To be clear, Tucker, Kent, others out there are suggesting that Donald Trump shut down the investigation into his own attempted murder. Here's 2025, the end of last year. Quote, this is from the guy running the case. If we get a credible lead, we'll continue to investigate. We've got a lot of leads. They were not credible. We ran them out. Let me read this again. Does this sound like the case was closed? I don't understand how people are confused about this. So we're putting this on the record if Fox News, to be embarrassed later? If we get a credible lead, we'll continue to investigate, the FBI official said. The director, Cash, has been very clear about leaving no stone left unturned, and that's what we're committed to. How many more receipts could you possibly need? Here, the piece goes on. Joe Kent, hey, man, there was stuff, they said they never looked at, like the digital thing. The president said he wasn't really satisfied with the investigation. He's told us, the Daily Caller, and now told Brian Kilmeade at Fox News. This isn't secret knowledge. It's out there. As for Trump, he told Fox News' Brian Kilmeade, he has, quote, confidence in Cash, a lot of confidence in the DOJ, too. And they're giving me reports, and the reports are seeming to balance out. So I have confidence in these people. I wasn't confident with Christopher Wray, the prior director, but this group is a different group, Trump said. It's Cash as opposed to Wray, and I have confidence in Cash. Andy, how do you read that? That he has confidence? Andy's like, I don't know. I'm confused. And Guy says, I know what he meant. He's definitely not satisfied, right, Guy? That's what he said. Yes, by saying he's satisfied with the investigation multiple times, Guy's correct. He definitely meant he was not satisfied. Yes, Guy's correct. Guy, great point. Donald Trump is known for obfuscating his language and never actually tells you what he's thinking. This is unbelievable how this continues. It goes on. Man, I don't know. I don't know if they got to all those digital. He had no online footprint. Those were the imbeciles running the FBI in the past. The official we had running the investigation said the FBI examined 35 accounts linked to Crooks, social media, bank, and other online accounts. We've been able to access all of those accounts. There has been reporting incorrectly stating that there was encryption the FBI was not able to get into in Crooks' accounts. That is not true because it's not. We've been able to get into every single account. Folks, this is all on the record. You guys can read this yourself. Is there another one? How many more screenshots we got? This is the last. Here's one more for you, just in case. Again, Joe Kent should just read the article or should have taken the briefing I offered him. He did not. He didn't want to. I could have told him this directly, or he just could have read it himself. Crooks' home was completely swept. Every device was collected and accessed fully, Kash Patel said. Reports say that we didn't get into certain devices. That's false. We got into all of them. We conducted a manual review of more than, wait for the number, 500,000 individual electronic files. We engaged with a number of nations around the world to ensure that all leads were covered, including all the stuff that you're seeing emerging in the media. Folks, we're not just going to give up who our foreign sources are when we're looking at a potential foreign lead. The leads did not pan out. It doesn't mean you give up. If you ask some guy, leave that up on put that up on the screen. Just leave it up for a second. If a bank is robbed and we go ask our source, who say some criminal adjacent person in the community, hey, do you know robbed the bank? And he says, yeah, Tony robbed it. We don't tell the public that Bobby told us, the source told us that Tony robbed the bank. It doesn't mean we're hiding information. It means we don't give up our sources to get this stuff, even when they don't pan out. When there was a lead about an overseas connection on these foreign accounts, the FBI reached out to foreign governments, the official explained. I thought we didn't do that. I thought they have some hidden knowledge. Folks, this can't continue, man. If you're going to keep falling for this, you're just going to be a sucker in your real life too. And notice how they just continue to move the goalposts. Now it's shifted the defenders of these people, bizarrely, losing their own credibility. Forget about the talking head class, just making this stuff up. You're going to go out there and defend this stuff knowing you have zero facts on your side? Now they're moving the goalposts from, okay, maybe Donald Trump didn't shut down the investigation at all, but there's other information out there. There's other information out there. Ladies and gentlemen, you think we're going to disclose to you like every single source? That's not the way this stuff works. We go out and investigate. This is like law enforcement 101. They did not pan out. You think we have this hidden information about a massive plot that was, and we're keeping it from you? I'm just telling you, when something else goes down, I want the record to be crystal clear that there's no secret knowledge on my show. It's all out there. We just showed you it. And I did not give you unnecessary information. I gave you information that's evidence. There's a difference. All they do is the opposite. Yeah, see, I know. There you go. He's like, okay, you're way over. All right, I'm going to get to a couple things. The supposed Iran deal. Bongino rule, folks. Bongino rule, please. Everybody's commenting on a deal nobody's really seen yet. I'll address a couple points. It could be in it, but this is why I don't get into this stuff. Let's see the deal first. Kind of like, I want to get there, but I got the FBI case yesterday. Something really important on that. A lot of stuff. Don't go anywhere. Hey, if you were a fan of the show anytime in the last few years, you know my next sponsor, Beam. You know why you know that? Because I have the worst time sleeping ever. This is actually my packet of Beam. You can see it's open at the top, hence the uneven nature. They don't ship them like that. That's how I opened it. Beam's Dream Powder. I take it every night when I was away. And no matter what I was doing, especially on nights I was having a tough time, there's like a case I was thinking about, your mind's racing. Beam Dream Powder is the trick. Sleep didn't happen as easily for me, tossing, turning, dragging. The next day, you need a whole boatload of caffeine. Now with Beam's Dream Powder, I sleep through the night, wake up clear-headed, energetic like I am today. Took some last night. Dream is made with a powerful blend of all natural ingredients. They work together. Reishi, magnesium, L-theanine, apigenin, and melatonin. Check them out yourself. It tastes amazing. Chocolate peanut butter is my go-to. It's a nice little treat. I'm not alone either. Beam has improved over 28 million nights of sleep nationwide. Now that I'm back with Beam, I'm so glad to be able to offer you a discount again. Go to shopbeam.com/Bongino and use code Bongino to get my exclusive offer up to 40% off Beam's Dream Powder. 40%. That's right. With my discount code Bongino, you can get their best-selling Dream Powder for up to 40% off. Get a good night's sleep. Now's the season to show up strong. Do it with something made by Americans for Americans. Do it with Beam's Dream Powder. Shopbeam.com/Bongino. Today's show also brought to you by our friends at Supersure. Listen, when you're in business and you're talking to all these different insurance companies, you know the problem? There's just too many of them. When you sign your insurance policy for some brokers, that's the finish line. A little handshake here, commission. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. That's no good. What kind of way is that to run a business? Your business runs year round. So do the gaps and the risks. That's why I'm introducing you to Supersure. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just buy a policy online. I think you know that. Supersure is the super agency built for you. Licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts, which translates your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Everybody hates fine print. Use their tool and you don't have to hate it anymore. Plus, a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth. You ever wonder? Well, now you'll know. You can know what actually needs protecting. Go to supersure.com/Bongino. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies, one place. Go to supersure.com/Bongino. That's supersure.com/Bongino. Consult with a licensed insurance producer to discuss coverage options for your specific business needs. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency. Thank you, Supersure. We really appreciate it. Okay. Just quickly on the Iran deal, because you're going to see wall-to-wall coverage on cable news yet. Folks, the Bongino rule applies here. The Bongino rule, why don't we just wait like 24, 72 hours before analyzing a deal that's not even public yet? There have been some leaks about it. When I see the deal and I see President Trump acknowledge the deal, who knows what they're working on, what they're not, then we will have some final commentary after we've given it a little bit of time. However, everybody freaking out about the deal. We don't even really know the full contours of it yet. There are, however, three things that I think are going to be concerning to both sides of the debate. Some people want a deal. Some people don't want a deal. You've got kind of like the hawkish, I don't want to oversimplify, but the hawkish approach, hawkish, and the dovish approach. So I don't want to oversimplify, but you get the point. It's going to be, number one, I would say would be timing. Is the timing of this deal right now, or should there be more kinetic strikes to get them in a weaker bargaining position first? Legitimate debate, understandable. However, I would just say on the timing front, and I said this last night on Sean Hannity's show on Fox, pretending like President Trump will not go back and start a kinetic bombing campaign again if they screw around is ridiculous. Soleimani, the Russian mercs on the Syrian battlefield, Maduro, the Iranian campaigns 1, 2, and 3, if you count what just happened the other day. You think the president's afraid to use kinetic strikes? So I'm not really going to buy in like the timing argument. If a deal doesn't work out, then we always have that option on the table. So timing's number one. The second part, I think people are worried about, is kind of connected to the first, which is leverage. That we have more leverage as the Iranian regime gets weaker. So there's a case to be made to soften them up even more, especially on the economic front, given that they are struggling right now. Anyway, even Trump's haters, President Trump's haters, are starting to acknowledge, like the Wall Street Journal is not a fan of President Trump, but they've been pretty clear in some of their opinion pieces. Like, listen, the Iranian economy is completely, totally decimated. It is destroyed. And a little bit more time, and they may have to fold. So that's the second point that's going to be open for debate. The third is this $300 billion. There's been a ton of misinformation out there. They're comparing it to Obama's pallets of cash. That is inaccurate. That's fake news. It's totally made up. It would be an investment fund they would have access to if they meet certain metrics for reform. Pretty simple. You don't have to like it. Those are what it is. We'll see what happens from there. But just apply the Bongino rule and just let the thing come out in full. And let's talk about it after that. Does that make sense? Everybody's just sitting there throwing eggs, and yet nobody knows what's in the deal yet. And once I hear it from the president, then we'll rock and roll with that, all right? By the way, here was the president. You got that I'm the boss one? Gee, this is pretty good stuff. Here's the president at the G7. Sorry, but I just love clips like this. Ladies and gentlemen, we're the United States. We're the alpha male. We're the alpha dog in the pack. We just are. And, we should act like it. So I kind of love clips like this. The audio is not great on some of these clips because they're kind of boom mics from a distance, but still, this is worth it. Check this out.
Hello, I'm the boss. How are you? Good, thank you.
You like the smile at the end? He goes to sit at the head of the table. I'm the boss. And he smiles like I'm joking, but I'm not. I love that. Shows I like how he rolls. We are the alpha dog. We're the United States of America. We should act like it. Project power if you want to appear powerful. Project weakness if you want to appear weak. Sorry, folks. That's just the way the world works in geopolitics. All this other bullshit, you can throw that out the window, okay? Here is another clip yesterday. Man, my handwriting is so bad. What is this? Oh, the body language. Yeah, my handwriting. It looks like Trump wore Laguna. It says, I wish I could show you this, but you wouldn't be able to read it. Trump body language. I had so many notes in the show today. I had to write over. This is how much stuff I have to talk about. I was writing over other stuff. Here's Donald Trump. Sky News did this. Hat tip producer Jim who sent this over. Here's a Sky News analyst showing how Donald Trump works the room as the alpha dog president and a body language interpretation of it. This stuff is great. Check this out.
What about the other leaders, though? What about their interactions with Trump? Well, look, this is the main kind of summit room. Trump walks in, greets President Macron, handshake for the president of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, the Japanese Prime Minister, short handshake with Keir Starmer. And then look at this. Carney, Merz, Maloney, Antonio Costa, all kind of lined up like school children waiting for an autograph. This is the family photo. They do this every year. It's always a good moment to kind of get a sense of the way things are going, the body language, who stands where, what's the choreography like. Look, who's in the middle? Trump, of course.
Thank you. Thank you.
So is there a serious point to all of this? Well, yeah, there kind of is. Look at this, right? End of the family photo. Trump looks at the camera by himself, thumbs up. However much the Europeans might try and distance themselves and go it alone, he is still the leader of the free world. He knows it, and so do they.
You want to project power. Chest out, chin up, shoulder blades retracted. You want to project weakness, look weak. You can accuse President Trump of a lot of things, but suggesting he's not the alpha dog in the room is just silly. And why you wouldn't be proud of that, living in the United States, that your president is the alpha dog overseas, is just bizarre to me. You want us to look weak? What, to invite attacks on us? I mean, what are you insane? Are you suicidal? What are you, crazy? All right, folks. So yesterday there was a big hat tip, by the way, to the Secret Service and the FBI as well. It was a joint investigation. I want to make sure this is out there. That terror plot at the UFC. I was at the UFC, covered it yesterday. If you're looking for a debunking of all the misinformation around the event, I strongly suggest you check out yesterday's show. We had a great audience, 61,000 people peak live there, which was a great number for us, especially on a Tuesday. So we were very happy to have everyone there. I don't want to beat the investigation up. It's still ongoing. There's a lot going on. There are more suspects out there. So this is going to be a case. I just want to point out a couple of things. The charging documents in the case put up first, there was a level of planning that went into this that was, I don't want to say it was unsophisticated, because it was a pretty sophisticated attack. Not that yet. Put up the screenshots from the phone if you would. These individuals, and they are suspects, everyone's innocent until proven guilty. We are a republic. They had clearly diagrammed out how they were going to do this. In other words, so any suggestions that this was just some random thought, at least in these charging documents, not backed up by some planning or overt acts, appears misguided if what turns out in the charging documents proves to be true. But this is the second point, and this is the reason I'm bringing this up again today. Folks, something else is going to happen. One of the things the Democrats and people who hate Donald Trump have been using to put him in physical danger and to destroy him has been, again, the Epstein case. I have been vocal about the Epstein case, my history with the Epstein case, how I do not want to let it go, did not want to let it go. However, I want to stick to the facts. When you start believing other stories like Donald Trump was eating children in the White House, it leads to stuff like the allegations in this charging document, Geek. And you tell us, folks, I'm telling you, people are using this to put the man and his administration in danger. The complaint. This is real. This is happening. This is in the document. You can read it yourself. I'm telling you, I want this all documented here. Here, look at the end of this. The suspect in the case expressed a desire that people who were involved with Jeffrey Epstein should not govern the country. Members shared information on a TikTok group. This is what they were using to target people in the Trump administration. Folks, something else is going to happen. And I just want it out there that if you're not interested in facts and you're interested in secret knowledge and bizarre theories about what happened at the expense of other people who busted their ass on these things, you're just on the wrong side of this, man. The right side of the facts. Everybody did everything they could. I just want to add, too, that drone threat, which I covered on Fox and on Hannity last night, is very real. It's very real. And it was one of the things that me, Cash, the president, Sebastian Gorka did a great job. My chief of staff at the time busted our ass to make sure we did everything we can. But this drone threat is very real. It's not a matter of the future. It's a matter of the now. And you should thank the Lord, and I mean it, I'm not using his name in vain, that you got a president there who is so serious about the drone threat, he put out an executive order saying as much, directing federal agencies like, hey, you better get your ass together on this thing. Okay, on a good note, I don't know about you guys. I know Jasmine loves these, but I can't get enough of this FIFA World Cup. Foreigners coming to the United States who may have fallen for speaking about misinformation about the United States. It's so dangerous. Those people are awful. They hate everyone. They're so rude. So rude. You ever been down south? Everybody loves you down south. Even when they don't love you, they bless your heart. Some of you know I'm a Northerner, and I get that one. And believe me, I'm a Yankee. Right, Jasmine? Even when they don't love you, they bless your heart. Bless your heart. And up in the North, we don't do that. If we don't love you, they're like, oh, yourself. They're not blessing your heart. I'm not telling you it's better. I'm just telling you it is. United States is full of beautiful, awful people. I mean, beautiful, not awful people. Beautifully not awful people. We're the best. Don't believe the misinformation. Don't believe the bullshit. I can't get enough of these. Here's this guy I mentioned yesterday, Fiago on X, whose account has gone nuclear with this German guy, Freddie. Just going around the United States and taking videos. He's on with Jake Tapper on CNN. It's a good interview, though. And he's about a minute of it. And he's like, man, we Europeans were told a lot of terrible things about the United States, but we came here. This place is freaking awesome. Check this out.
Another German soccer fan, Freddie, has also been going viral on X. He posted this photo of a custom Welcome Freddie banner with the German flag added to Louisiana's state welcome sign. What do you make of all the viral content coming out of this tournament and all the love for the European tourists from the American people as you show us our country with fresh eyes?
Yeah, I mean, I know Freddie. He's a nice guy. He's from like close to me, so I've been talking to him. He's loving it. He's more touring the South. I did Chicago, and I think it's more like because in Europe we have a lot of rather negative news about the Americans in the last 5 years. Let's say that, and I think we are all enjoying like the fact that this country is so great to visit. The people are amazing, so welcoming. The culture is amazing. It's like Europeans are getting a new view of America right now. I think through our content, and that's cool. I think.
That's awesome. They've been told a bunch of shit and garbage about the United States. They come here thinking it's like some kind of big kill zone where a bunch of people, when you get off the plane, are going to tell you to go F yourself. That's not the United States you and I know. And listen, folks, I grew up in New York, okay? New York's not like that either. Let me just give you a quick example of what I mean. Yes, when you're on the grocery line in New York, you're at the checkout counter, right? If you sit there dilly-dallying and you're really slow and you're like starting a lot of small talk, people can be rude. They'll be like, hey, buddy, or like when I was a kid, it was like, hey, fella, hey, chief, champ, boss. You know, in New York, that's a thing. Hey, amigo, like clean it up here. Let's get going. They will tell you. But if you're on that same line and a guy tells you, hey, champ, move it along, and you have a heart attack, I promise you that guy's doing CPR and you right there calling the cops and is going to make sure like you're fed. They call your family and get them up. I promise you. I promise you. That was me growing up in here. New York now, I don't know, the vibe is a little off and a little different. It's a great place. And these visitors to the United States are having a blast. Did you see the Scots take over Fenway Park? Man, listen, I would never go to Fenway Park. I was a Yankees fan growing up. That was like off limits. I think there was a ban on, I'm kidding, of course. Here are the Scots taking over Fenway Park. This is just some epic stuff. They're sending this all around the world. Check this out. Look at them, shirts off, typical like a typical Yankees game or Fenway game. There you go. They've just embraced the American way of celebrating. Here's another one. Them headed, the Norway fans of Norway were headed over to the park to watch the game as well. And they decided to row up the escalator. If you watch it on Apple and Spotify, even Justin is in it. Show us Justin's rowing. He knows a lot about that. This is stuff like, this is going around the world, folks. They are loving every minute of this. I'll just throw one more up there to celebrate the wonder of this country. Thank you for all the feedback in yesterday's show. You know, it's funny. I was walking out yesterday, and we got a security team around here. One of the security guys is like, he must have heard some of the show when he was walking through. He's like, man, Dan. He goes, I got to tell you, I really love that show. I love this country, too. I was like, cool, brother. I'm glad I love this place. Listen to me. I love this place. It is the greatest place on earth. You belong to the greatest club ever invented. Club United States of America. Be damn proud. Chest out, chin up, shoulders back. That flag behind you means something. You know what it means? Greatness. Greatness. Celebrate it. American exceptionalism is real. You live in the greatest country in the history of this rock we call Earth, in the history of this universe. We have never found anything better. We have never found hard evidence of a civilization better than the U.S. citizen right now. American flags in the chat. Celebrate this country on its 250th. This is the greatest place on earth. And stop saying every time you do it, we're not perfect. Even I've done it. Of course we're not perfect. God created fallible human beings. That's a stupid example. It's not a real example because nobody's perfect. Yes, we're not perfect. Of course we're not. But if there was a getting to perfection, we're the closest. Despite a lot of setbacks. American flags in the chat. Blow it up. American flag on the computer. American flag behind me. American flag in our logo. Why? Because I love this place. I love this place. And you should love it too. Free markets, military power, freedoms and liberties. You can come out and get on a platform before Barack Obama and Joe Biden tried censoring everyone, and you can say, Obama sucks, Biden sucks. You can say George W. Bush sucks. You can say Trump sucks. And you know what's going to happen? The answer is nothing. Nobody is going to come to your house and kill you or put you in jail because you live on the greatest country on earth. You can assemble. You can petition your government. You can own a firearm outside of blue city communist states. You can speak. You can practice your religion. This is the greatest place on earth. You're a Zoroastrianist, a Christian, you're Jewish, Buddhist, Hindu, Muslim. It doesn't matter. Nobody's going to stop you from worshiping whatever God you want. That's here. That's here, man. That's here. Love this place. It deserves to be loved. It needs you. It needs a generation of young patriots. Look at that chat. Tear it up. It needs a generation of young patriots who believe in Club America because you should believe in it. Because better men than us, the greatest generation, forfeited so much, and gave up so much so you can live like you do now. They didn't have cell phones, Ozempic. They didn't have so much food. Our biggest problem is obesity, flat screen TVs, miracles of modern technology, revolutionary cancer treatments, material sciences, soon to be quantum computers and AI. They didn't have any of this stuff, but we do because of them. Love this place. Deserves to be loved. It needs you to love it. You're not going to fight for something you don't believe in. And you should believe in this. There's nothing like this place. I'm going to tell you something. There never will be again. You know I hate the word unique because it's overused. And if everything's unique, nothing's unique. Not here. The United States of America is capital U unique. But what's a unique? Wow, that was a good one, Guy. Guy knows when I'm like way over him. Okay, one more thing and we'll go to. He's like, you know what's unique? Getting a good night's sleep. He's been here the longest. Been here like 30 years. Dan, your show's only 11 years old. I know. I'm just making that up. No, he's been here a long time. And you know the show has some order to it. And lately I've been on just a roll, so I'm totally busting up the air. I just want to show you one last thing. When the World Cup is held in other countries, they have to build out, not all, but a lot of the infrastructure. Sometimes they have to build hotels or renovate them or build additional stadiums and all this stuff. When the World Cup comes to the United States, we basically don't have to do anything other than security because we're the greatest country on earth that has so many stadiums, we don't even know what to do with them all. Check out this video of this is Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta. Wow, look at that retractable, what's that called? The Oculus or something? When do you think we built that? 10 minutes ago for the World Cup? Nah, it's been sitting there. Because, we use it, obviously. But this is what we do. This is the United States. We have this stuff. Why? Because we produce amazing stuff, because we have amazing workers. That's why. We don't have to build out anything. We're the United States. We kick ass. We take names. 250 years of freedom, liberty, and kicking ass. My favorite shirt ever. Why? Because it's the only one I invented. Everyone else was Paula. Or the audience. It's true. Justin's like, we have Friday Night Lights high school stadiums that beat some like, it reminds me of that something about Mary. Oh, you built the, what is it, Estadio Olimpico? We do. We have, there are football stadiums in Texas for high schoolers. Remember that boys at the Permian Tigers or something like that, or Permian Panthers or something that are probably not. Look at it. Biggest stadiums in the world. We kick ass and take names, man. Oh, good for you. Look at him. All those U.S. stadiums. All right, quick break. I got to get to this too because it's really important. It was a great clip on the 5 yesterday with Gutfeld. For all the panties in a wad, crap in their diapers, leftists, I can't believe the UFC disgraced the White House with what? An event celebrating America, the White House, patriotism in the country with something that's almost pure Americana, which is like fight sports. Not the fighting part. Every country has fight. But this is what we've been doing this forever. Gutfeld had a great clip on this. I'll get to that in a second. Hey, lately I've been looking for ways to stay cool at night and actually get solid sleep. You know, sleep. What is it, folks? The ultimate life hack. Helix mattresses, it's the way to rock and roll. I've had a Midnight Lux forever. It says I switched, but I did because I've had them forever. I bought a new one up for DC too when I was up in DC. I can't sleep on anything else. The only downside to a Helix mattress, you're not going to want to go to a hotel anymore because you're going to want to get back to your own mattress. I used to wake up sore, hot, you get sweaty at night, constantly tossing and turning, no good. That's not my reality anymore. I took their sleep quiz at Helix. I got matched with a mattress tailored to how I sleep. It is a game changer. The mattress is amazing. I have guests in the guest room in my house. Like, that's a great mattress. I know. The cooling upgrade, huge. Your body has to cool down to fall asleep, especially with warmer nights coming. It's really important. I've even noticed it in my sleep data. I got those sleep trackers. My sleep's been incredible. Deeper sleep, fewer wake-ups. I feel the difference. You will too. On top of that, Helix will give you a 120-night sleep trial and a limited lifetime warranty. They're really confident in their product. There's no downside. Just give it a try. It's an easy, worthwhile upgrade. Sleep better. It's the ultimate life hack. Go to helixsleep.com/Dan for 20% off site-wide. If you haven't been thinking about your mattress, think about it. 25% off Luxe mattresses and 30% off Elite mattresses. That's a lot of savings. That's helixsleep.com/Dan for 20% off site-wide, 25% off Luxe mattresses, 30% off Elite mattresses, helixsleep.com/Dan. And our last sponsor today, my go-to product for a really long time. You know, it's funny, I use this product all the time, and then they came on board as a sponsor. And they always vet stuff because, you know, I don't take every sponsor. They're like, hey, we want to advertise for Dose? I said, yeah, I already use it. So it's pretty easy. They can just look in their files. I love Dose. A lot of people hesitate when they're told they might need to take something for cholesterol. They're not comfortable with long-term, you know. People want to feel like they have a say in how they care for themselves. That's why more people are turning to gentle alternatives with ingredients they recognize, like coenzyme Q10, ginger, pomegranate, and amla. One option is Dose for cholesterol. I take it. I love the Dose products. Big fan. Like I said, been a customer for a long time. Dose for cholesterol is a clinically backed supplement designed to support triglycerides, LDL, HDL, and total cholesterol levels. It is a great health hack for you. I use it. I've got the numbers to back it up. With team members, we have team members using Dose for a long time. Their blood work has been very encouraging. I only talk about products when people around me and my family use them. It's easy to add to your routine. I got my neighbors on it too. A daily 2-ounce liquid shot that tastes like mango. It's delicious. No capsules or powders. It's easy to take. Fits well daily. Sometimes I keep one in the fridge. I don't even use a cup. Sometimes I just drink my own out of the bottle. New customers can save 35% on their first month of subscriptions by going to dosedaily.co/Bongino or entering code Bongino at checkout. That's DOSE for Dose. dosedaily.co/Bongino for 35% off your first month subscription. These statements of product have not been evaluated by the FDA. They're not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition. Thanks, Dose. So the UFC event is still ringing people's bells. The meltdowns have been absolutely epic. The night was incredible. I swear it was blessed by God. Those storm clouds headed directly for the White House that split. I still can't get over how that happened. I remember me and Chris sitting in this little area waiting to go into the event. Chris from Rumble, that is. And Chris pulls up a weather app. He's like, this whole thing's going to get rained down. And then boom, the clouds split and magically hit everywhere else but DC. It was incredible. But here was Sugar Sean O'Malley, who fought at the event and won. He was a guy who saluted at the end. He saluted with the Rumble thing on the background. We had sponsored the event, because we want to be part of it. We want to celebrate America too. Here was Sugar Sean giving an interview, hat tip, Pat McAfee, who conducted it. He's doing it from like his whirlpool in the backyard or his hot tub or whatever, but just talking about what it was like being at the venue and doubling down on what I told you. Like, it was absolute magic. Check this out.
Every fight, it just feels, man versus man. At the end of the day, we lock the octagon and nothing matters. Where you're from, nothing matters. It's just skill set versus skill set. And it's kind of a way of me thinking about that. It's a way of not letting the moment get to you. It's not there was definitely more pressure going into this fight. Just the fact that I knew I was such a massive favorite and I'm fighting a Canadian at the White House. It's like, if I lose this, I'm embarrassed. I can't fight again. I cannot walk out to another fight if I lose this fight. And that was like, I put a lot of pressure on myself for that. Walking out of the White House, I was like, what the it felt like a movie. The UFC production, they killed it. Dana's a gangster for even like putting this. No one else would ever have done this. So the whole thing was a movie, and it's fucking unreal.
Folks, you want to project power, then project power. You know, when I was leaving at the end of the year for my tenure at the Bureau, right? A couple of people were coming in who we had promoted, and they were in elevated positions. We had basically rearranged the entire leadership of the place. And someone said to me, actually a few people, I gave this advice to a couple of people, and they know who they are. And they said, hey, do you have any advice? You know, it was my first time, obviously, in this position at this promotion. And I said, act like you're in charge, because you are. We projected power around the world with this event. Act like the U.S. is in charge. Act like you're the President of the United States. Act like you're in charge, because you are. Here's the G7. The audio here is not great. Guy's a perfectionist. He's always like, I don't think we should put this in. Apple, Spotify folks are going to have a hard time hearing it. Let me just tell you, this is Emmanuel Macron around the table at the G7. And what's one of the first things he brings up? The UFC. This is how we project power for all the crapping in their diapers liberals. I can't believe this happened. Whatever. Celebrate America with a big, bold, brash event, because that's what we do. Check this out. I will put on the record, Guy's not happy with the clip because the audio is low. I, however, love it. Check this out.
It used to be boxing, but now it's the UFC.
Yeah, he's even doing like that. Used to be boxing, right? All right, go back. I promise Guy I get out of the clip early because the audio isn't great. You see all these foreign leaders? Macron and others, they're all like, hey, man, you see, it used to be boxing, now it's UFC, it's so great. There's Giorgia Meloni there and others. They're all sitting at the table. Emmanuel Macron's like, you see the UFC? Look at Trump. There he is. Alpha dog. There he is. Kicking ass and taking names. Ladies and gentlemen, I swear to you, you want some leadership advice from when you're plunged into a position that you're always going to be unsure of yourself at times. If every decision was easy, they wouldn't be asking you. They would have made it. That's why you're freaking in charge. Act like you're in charge, because you are.
I'm the boss.
Can we keep that, like the data point thing? We need that. I'm the boss. You're damn right you're the boss. This rock we call Earth has a boss. You know what? It's the President of the United States. Whoever's sitting in that chair, right now, it's him. You should thank your lucky stars for it. Despots see this too around the world. You don't think they understand we're the freaking alpha dog? We are.
I'm the boss.
Here was the great Greg Gutfeld on the 5. I love Greg. The best part about the 5 is that there's almost never unanimity at the table. Unanimity at the table. You know, you got Dana, who's a very kind of balanced approach. Jesse's a ball of fire. Greg just doesn't tolerate liberal talking points. Jessica is the, liberal progressive. Harold's kind of more moderate approach. Then you got the guest chair. You got Emily at times, Rosanna Scotto, Judge Janine used to be in it. So you always get this kind of balanced approach, right? Here is Greg just tearing it up about all the bullshit diaper crapping over the UFC event at the White, and all the hypocrisy about Hokit and others. Man, seriously, we got real stuff going on. Celebrate America. Check this out.
There's nobody on the left that has any credibility to ask us that question.
Because we don't know what a woman is? Is that what you're trying to?
No, because you guys have kept silent on everything. Hell, I seem to remember not too long ago how often I heard that Melania Trump was an escort. And from a lot of people who are now huffing and huffing. People who say that a black kid who stabs a white kid, that was just him defending himself.
Folks, it is so important to have Greg's voice on that show because it is the most popular show in cable news by far. It's not even close. And we can't allow this stuff. And I'm glad there are arguments that develop at the table. I would frankly be bored if everybody agreed. It's called the five for a reason, to get five disparate, different views on a topic, even within the same tent at times. But he's correct. All this pearl clutching, if you're not offended about what happened with Hokit, the Michelle Obama is a man joke, you're not offended. Just be honest. You're not offended by it. You're pretending to be offended by it. Because if you were offended by that as some kind of end of times transgression, everybody should go to hell, you would care about a guy in Maine who talks about like pleasuring himself in a porta potty. Like that would bother you too. But it doesn't. Not only does it not bother you, you voted him to be in the United States Senate as your nominee. You're just making it up. Stuff bothers me if it happens on the right or the left. You want to stigmatize a group of people, Jews, black folks, Hispanic folks, I'm going to call bullshit on it every time, and I've done that. They got the receipts to back it up. You guys on the left are full of shit. The White House. I can't believe this event happened at the White House. It is sacred ground. Yeah, I told you, yes, I gave you my opinion. You can go watch the whole thing on Hokit. I think I had a pretty balanced approach to it because that's how I feel about things. But you're telling me like the White House, a UFC event that celebrated America, is inappropriate when Obama himself hat-tipped the great Maze Moore for this on X. You're telling me like your God, your golden calf, Barack Obama, it was a temple, the White House. He's already admitted, some stuff happened at the White House, probably not appropriate for he said it, his words. Were you offended about that too? Check this out.
What's true is we had some good parties at the White House.
Woo!
There's no doubt. I mean, part of it is the fact that, we had amazing people like Bruce who were willing to play. And it turns out that folks, if they're at a good party, they don't want to go home even when it's the White House. It would go late sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
And people misbehaved in ways I would not have expected under the portrait of George Washington and Martha Washington.
CC67219, don't put that up. Just look that up his comment in the chat there. You know what I'm talking about? Do you guys see it? Yeah, you're right. All of a sudden, like the Democrats, it's so sacred, none of this stuff should happen. UFC, really? You should have parties in the White House where Obama himself was like, people probably stayed too late, did some like inappropriate stuff. You're just not offended. That's why everybody gaffes you off, like Greg said. Like nobody takes you seriously. You see that? Folks, check it out in the chat. If you're missing a live chat, I appreciate you watching anytime. Much love. I put my hand on my heart, but my elbows don't work. But you get the point. I love you. Watch anytime. Watch on Rumble, listen, Apple, Spotify, wherever, iHeart, wherever you get your podcast. Amazon, I think has podcasts. Cool. I'm just telling you, the live chat's where it's at 10 o'clock. We love because so many people. The live chat, it's like its own show. It is its own thing. Between the McGroins and all the crew in there, you guys are awesome. All right, I want to get to this last thing because this is important too. Vice President Vance was on The View yesterday. And folks, this is what it looks like. If you're going to do an interview, and we do our best here, I'm not going to tell you with our guests, like once in a while, it's not going to be a question, it turns out to be a turkey. Sometimes it happens. But I can promise you, can you guys attest, like we do our homework. You come on with a book, tell me what's in the book. Why does this book matter? Why does my audience care about what's in the book? Give us the top lines, the bottom lines. When people come on, politicians want to come on. Well, what's in? I'm not a journalist. I don't pretend to be. I'm a conservative activist. However, I do have serious questions about things. What's important to you? Is it the SAVE Act? Is it constitutional carry? What is it? I want to find out why you want to be on the show and be interesting because I want the audience to be interested in the guest. This is what it looks like when you go on a show. Vice President Vance went on The View, and the hosts of the show, unlike the five, are totally and completely unprepared. Totally. Completely unprepared. Whoopi Goldberg, Joy, Anna Navarro, Sunny Hostin, totally unprepared. Here's Sunny Hostin. She has an opportunity to ask the Vice President, J.D. Vance, a question. Huge interview, correct? What's like your top 5 interviews? Who's in there? Rubio, Vance, Trump, Donald Trump. These are your top 5 interviews, right? You get a chance to ask a question. Get your facts right. What does she do? She throws out there the race hysteria question that somehow like the Trump administration, which is, by the way, been all in for school choice in minority communities, has been all in on celebrating their success in the Black community, Black entrepreneurs, tax cuts, business growth. He campaigned in the Bronx, President Trump. Goes out, man, are you targeting like minorities crap? So we're going to go back to ChatGPT, which Sunny could have done before she went on the air and looked this stuff up, but she doesn't want to prepare. They just want bullshit talking points. Check this out.
It's actually a very helpful intervention because I think the story you're talking about is where, allegedly the administration is holding back the appointments of people based on skin color. I've seen this story.
I'm talking about a host of things. I'm talking about Black history getting erased from public spaces. Black voter districts are being dismantled. Black leaders are being sidelined from our ranks. Where do Americans of color fit in this vision? Because it doesn't seem like we fit.
You don't fit in this vision? You're being sidelined? I don't know any other way to debunk this other than the easiest ways. If you're being sidelined, then you wouldn't take part in the democratic process of voting in a non-direct democracy, a representative democracy known as the constitutional republic. So I went to ChatGPT and I was like, well, are Black voters being sidelined? Because they brought up this, voter ID, insisting somehow that Black people aren't smart enough to get IDs, which, by the way, is racist in and of itself to even imply that. How you don't see that, I don't know. So went to ChatGPT, asked just a pretty simple question about voter turnout. Let's say pick 2000. That's an anchor point, right? Well, is Black voter turnout gone? You guys are really good at glad we're not like misspelling since 2000 in U.S. Searching the web, Black voter turnout. Overall, Black voter turnout is slightly higher today than it was in 2000, but it has fluctuated significantly. Look, it's actually gone up quite a bit and fluctuates based on if Black voters are impressed by the candidate or not, which is weird, guys, because that happens with every other racial demographic in America, too. Now, this is not a Democrat Zen moment on Friday, which we do with producer Jim. But many of you know Haley. She does her show at noon. Haley Carania, rumble.com/Haley. Of course, Hayley is where you can find her. She works here with us. I popped in on her show yesterday, and I rarely do that. And I rarely put on clips of Vince or Haley who work here in our shop because I want you to watch their shows directly. However, I was doing show prep in my office yesterday, and I'm switching around between Instagram, X, TikTok, Breitbart, all of these were Fox News, because that's how I put the show together. I do it after the show, and then I add stuff in the morning on breaking news overnight. But this popped up from Haley, and I've never played a Haley Instagram, but this was freaking hilarious. And Paula doesn't think a lot of stuff is that funny. Paula was like, that's freaking good stuff. Haley's coming up, and I want to play this Instagram reel of Haley Carania about how listen, the pronoun stuff, folks, it's done. We're not doing it, okay? We're not doing it. You want me to call you by your name? My name is, Sunflower. Fine, I'll call you I don't give a shit. Tell me what your name is. My name is Moonbeam. We love you, Moon. Great, congrats. I'm not doing the pronoun thing. You can do the pronoun thing. I'm not doing the pronoun. I'm not calling you she, jo. I'm not calling you they when you're a single person. I'm not doing it. Well, apparently Haley'd had enough of this too. She put this Instagram reel up. This is some good stuff. Check this out.
I'm working a new job today, and usually when I work a new job, someone will ask me what my pronouns are. Except today, I'm sitting there almost done with my shift, and I'm like, okay, no one here has asked me what my pronouns are.
I guess no one gave you the memo, so allow me. We're not doing this anymore. We're not doing this anymore. You might be doing it, but no one else is doing it anymore.
Am I just not hidden as queer anymore?
No. You're giving queer. You're for sure giving queer, but nobody cares. That's the difference. Live your life. Nobody cares.
I know what you're thinking. You should say your pronouns after you say your name.
No.
And that is the opportune time.
No.
Unfortunately, I always forget to do that. So I'm like, what do I do now? Go up to my coworker and be like, hey, by the way, if you're ever planning on like shit talking me behind my back, but you still like respect me on a basic human level, my pronouns are they, them. Please and thank you.
If anyone in a professional setting told me to call them them or they, I would seriously question what the fuck is wrong with them at this point, because that doesn't make any sense. Going to work is bad enough, and then you have to deal with this shit.
Freaking amazing. That was Haley's TikTok, by the way. It's HAYLEYCARONIA. I think it's on Instagram too, however, that's where I saw it. But Haley, good job. That was just freaking genius. I actually popped into her show yesterday. I never do that because I don't want to like interrupt her vibe or anything. I think she was just getting raided by Crowder too, which is awesome. We always appreciate that. We raid them, they raid Haley. And I was like, I'm sorry, I got to just tell the audience, like, this is good stuff. So really good stuff, Haley. Excellent work. Follow her on TikTok and Instagram. No, we're not doing it anymore. We're not. I'm not calling you Xi Zhao. I'm not doing it. I'll call the CCP's Xi. I'm not calling you Xi. I'm not doing it. Tell me your name. Moonbeam, Sunflower, cool, whatevs. I'm not calling you they. It's not happening. At no time in my lifetime am I doing that ever. Thank you, Haley. She's coming up at noon. Check out Vince every day at 8 a.m. The king of morning podcasting, rumble.com/Vince. His live chat goes live at 8 a.m. Haley's live chat shows are live 8 and noon. Vince at 0800 Eastern time. Don't miss it. Please download the Rumble app. It is free. We added 10,000 new subscribers over the last few months. It is absolutely free. Go to your app store, download the Rumble app. If you don't like app stores, you like to use the web, go to rumble.com/Bongino. Click that follow button. Absolutely free. Check it out. Please give us a follow on Apple and Spotify as well. I really appreciate it. I will see you back here tomorrow at 10 a.m.
I'm the boss.
Nice.
I'm Haley Cardia,
host of Vince.
Host of Scrolling with Haley.
You can always catch my show right here
on the Bongino Report.
Live, 8 a.m. Eastern, weekday mornings.
Weekdays at noon. If you miss it, no worries. The show will always be
right here
and anywhere you find podcasts. Thanks for watching.
The grill is shot. The chairs are held together by optimism. And what happened to the rug? Sounds like your outdoor setup is not ready for patio season. Fix it all with Wayfair. Shop Wayfair for grills, rugs, furniture, and more. With 20 million 5-star reviews, room of choice delivery, and expert setup on qualifying orders, it's never been easier to do more for less. Get 10% off your first eligible purchase. Hurry to wayfair.com or download the app now.
Wayfair, every style, every home.